Throughout the course of our struggle for progressive social change, our struggle for revolution, from the unique perspective of the New African in America, there have been many, and there remain many, who believe that all that is necessary to be a genuine revolutionary is the desire to destroy the system of capitalism, racism, and white supremacy, and to be warriors willing to fight against it. Being that history has clearly demonstrated such a belief to be patently false and unequal to the demands of the revolution, it is now essential that we articulate the philosophy and practice of the revolutionary new man and new woman in hopes of guiding all those who are sincere in their desire to serve people back to a correct and balanced course. There are many in the past, and perhaps even more in the present day, who assert they are genuine revolutionaries, but are outfitted in only the latest and most expensive fashions, seek to amass personal wealth through individualistic pursuits, and their very idea of success is articulated through the prism of the values of the very oppressive state they claim to oppose. They genuinely believe themselves to be revolutionary, but are incapable of viewing new paths to independence and socioeconomic empowerment, which are not reflective of or modifications in systems which already exist in the dominant culture and society. They are simply incapable of thinking beyond the confines of the dominant culture. To be sure, many of the solutions to society's ills that they come up with are doomed from the outset, because the psychological perspective from which these ideas are formed is incapable of thinking beyond the parameters of the dominant culture. Solutions they genuinely believe to be forged in linear thought are sabotaged from the outset by fixed patterns of circular thought, which lead not to actual solutions, but from problem to potential solution, the implementation of potential solution back to the same problem, in a psychological circle of thought so large that they believe they are thinking in a straight line. What most fail to seriously consider is New Africans in America have undergone a contrapositive authoritarian conditioning process over the course of centuries. There are far too many who claim the manner of revolutionary, but discount how deep and broad the psychological impact of the process of capitalist assimilation has been on not only the people, but themselves. They fail to functionally grasp that our people were assimilated to the morality of the ruling class through shadow slavery, Jim Crow apartheid, COINTELPRO, and on to our modern re-enslavement and merciless maw of the prison industrial slave complex. And that process, in conjunction with its reinforcement in every institution in this society, has altered both what and how we as a people think. It was an inevitable consequence of being subjected to this malignant social order that the values, standards, and social psychology of the bourgeois would be reproduced in us. To be revolutionary requires us to first acknowledge and accept that the primary revolution is waged within oneself. The New African revolutionary new man and new woman is one who first understands on a functional level, not merely intellectually, that before a contradiction ever manifests itself externally, it first matures internally. They understand that before they can claim the mantle of genuine revolutionary, they must commit themselves ideologically, politically, socially, culturally, economically, militarily, and on a practical level, to destroying the vestiges of capitalism, racism, and the impact of white supremacy within themselves. This means destroying the values of capitalism and racism within you, the aspirations of wanting to be like a capitalist, of desiring the opulence and hierarchical privilege and inequality, which is fueled by the race, caste, and economic class systems. This also means you must commit yourself to removing the vices, the distorted pleasures, and vapid individualism of the capitalist from your very character. This is perhaps the single most difficult commitment for any man or woman in this society to undertake, let alone make. The social pressures to conform to traditionally individualistic and attrition-based approaches are powerful in the United States. They pervade every aspect of its society, from the music to the rap songs that you listen to on the radio, from the movies you watch to what's going on in the club, from your schools to even what's going on in the pulpits of the church and the temple. Yet if we are serious and sincere about ending the oppression of man and woman by man and woman, we must be equally sincere and serious about waging and winning the struggle within ourselves against old and unprogressive modes of thought, action, and behavior. Ask yourself, how can anyone claim revolutionary authenticity when his or her mannerisms, method of thinking, and way of life is a constant reflection and manifestation of the old, malignant, greedy, and racist social order? They can't. Therefore, prerequisite to a certain revolutionary authenticity, one must have successfully rooted out and removed selfishness, greed, individualism, reactionary tendencies, backward ideas, and hate. The revolutionary new man and revolutionary new woman is one who has not only made such a commitment, but relentlessly pursues this internal revolution, actively seeking out and challenging their own ideas and notions within themselves, which do not comport with the values and worldview of the African revolutionary scientific socialism. If revolution means progressive economic, political, social, cultural, and military change, then it is of operational centrality that those who've taken the responsibility to usher in such change, they must equip themselves with the tools, psychologically and ideologically, with which to change the nature and structure of capitalist society, racist orientation, and structures of white supremacy. It is only through a commitment such as this, a commitment to forge ourselves into the revolutionary new man and new woman, that can create new social relationships and new social structures reflective of these internal values. The social change can be truly revolutionary change, and not simply another form of oppression and economic exploitation of man and woman by man and woman. Think on these things. They are cause for great meditation.